Hi, everyone. Wow, I'm actually shaking a little as I sit here on my couch at 2 a.m., wrapped in my old gray blanket, the one with the little coffee stain from last Christmas. My name is Lisa Thompson, and I've been carrying this story in my chest for 3 years, too scared to say it out loud, until tonight. If the title already has your heart racing, get rid of it. My father pushed me down the stairs while pregnant. He had no idea I survived and recorded it all. Then you're exactly who I made this for. Stick with me, because this isn't some made-up drama. This is my real life. And the way it all unfolded still feels like a nightmare I can't wake up from. I promise every single word is true. And if you've ever loved someone who was supposed to protect you, only to have them turn into your worst fear, you're gonna feel this one deep in your bones. Quick favor before we dive in. If stories like this that mix heartbreak, secrets, and quiet strength are your thing, please hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. It means the world to me and helps me keep sharing these real stories. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Okay, let's go back. 3 years ago, I was 27, living in our big, beautiful house just outside Portland, Oregon. You know, those quiet suburbs where the rain never stops and the streets smell like pine trees? That was home. My mom had passed from cancer 2 years earlier, and it was just me and Dad. He was this wealthy real estate guy, fancy cars, big marble staircase, the whole thing. After Mom died, he got super controlling, but I told myself it was because he loved me too much. I was his only child, his little girl. We'd sit on the porch some nights, drinking hot chocolate, him saying how proud he was that I worked at the bookstore downtown. I believed him. I trusted him with everything. Then I met Jake. Kind, funny, the guy who made me laugh even on the worst days. We fell in love quietly. When I saw those 2 pink lines on the pregnancy tests, my hands were trembling so hard I dropped it in the sink. I was terrified, but also so happy. A baby, our baby. I thought, this is going to heal us. Dad will finally have something to smile about again. So that rainy Tuesday evening, I made his favorite lasagna, set the table nice, and after dinner, I sat him down in the living room. My voice was shaking when I said, "Dad, I'm pregnant. You're going to be a grandpa." His face changed in a second, like someone flipped a light switch, and the warmth just vanished. He stood up so fast the chair scraped the floor, started pacing, yelling about how this ruined everything, how he needed a son to take over the company and the money. Turns out he had already been planning a new life with some woman I'd never even met, a perfect new family with a boy heir. He didn't want a daughter with a baby messing up his perfect picture. I begged him, tears pouring down my face. "Dad, this is your grandchild. Please, I need you." But he just got louder and louder. We ended up at the top of those big stairs, the same ones I used to run down laughing when I was little. His eyes were ice cold. He screamed right in my face, "Get rid of it." Then he pushed me, hard. I remember the feeling of my foot slipping, the world tilting, my hands grabbing at nothing. The fall felt endless, pain exploding everywhere, fear for my baby screaming in my head. I hit the bottom hard. Everything went black for a moment. When I opened my eyes, I was still breathing, bruised, terrified, but alive. And somehow the baby was okay too. A miracle. Dad, he was already gone. Walked right out the front door, probably thinking the worst had happened and his problem was solved. I just lay there on the cold marble, rain tapping on the windows like it was crying with me. My phone had been in my hoodie pocket the whole time. I'd started a voice memo earlier because something in my gut said the conversation felt wrong. It caught every single word, every scream, every horrible thing he said. That's when it hit me like a wave I couldn't stop. He had no idea I survived, and in that quiet, broken moment, something inside me woke up. I wasn't just his scared little girl anymore. I was going to protect my baby, and I was going to find out exactly who my father really was. So I quietly hit record again, slipped the phone away, and decided right there I would start saving everything, every phone call, every meeting, every lie for the next 6 months. Little did he know. But why did I wait so long to tell anyone? And what shocking secrets did those recordings uncover that even I wasn't ready for? That's the part that still keeps me up at night. If your heart is already racing and you need to know what happened next, how I kept it all hidden while living under the same roof, make sure you're subscribed because part 2 is coming soon. And trust me, the emotions and the twists only get deeper. I'll see you there.
Hey, it's me, Lisa Thompson again. I'm right back here on my couch. Same 2 a.m. quiet, same gray blanket with that little coffee stain, and my voice is already cracking because what happened right after that fall still feels like it was yesterday. If you watched part 1, you know Dad screamed, "Get rid of it," and shoved me down those stairs. He walked out thinking the worst, but I was still breathing, and that's where everything changed. The next morning, he came back like nothing had happened. I was lying on the couch with a heating pad, pretending my whole body wasn't screaming. He looked at me with these fake sad eyes and said, "Lisa, I'm so sorry you lost the baby. It was probably for the best." My stomach dropped. He really thought I miscarried. He had no clue the little heartbeat inside me was still going strong. I just nodded, tears burning my eyes, and whispered, "Yeah, it's over." Inside, I was screaming. How could the man who used to read me bedtime stories now look relieved that his own grandchild was gone? I waited until he left for work, then drove myself to a little clinic across town, the one nobody knew about. The doctor did the ultrasound and her face lit up. "Lisa, there are 2 heartbeats. You're having twins." Twins! I sat there in that dark room, staring at the screen, crying so hard the nurse had to hold my hand. My babies were fighters, just like I was going to be. From that day on, I became someone I never knew I could be. I stayed in that big house with him for 6 long months. Every single day, I smiled, made his coffee, asked about work like nothing was wrong. But the second he left the room, I hit record on my phone. I started hiding a tiny camera necklace Jake got me. It looked like normal jewelry. I recorded every phone call I could catch, every late-night conversation in his office. Little things at first, him telling his new girlfriend, "Don't worry, Lisa's out of the picture now. The company and all the money will go to our son." Our son, like I was already dead to him. Some nights, I'd sit in my old bedroom, door locked, hand on my growing belly, whispering to the twins, "Mommy's got you, we're going to be okay." The fear was so heavy some mornings I could barely breathe, but every new recording gave me a little more strength. I saved up from my bookstore job and quietly hired a private investigator, a sweet older lady named Ruth, who promised to keep everything secret. She started digging into Dad's new life, his secret bank accounts, the woman he was planning to marry. Month after month, the recordings piled up. I had hours of him laughing about how he was rewriting the will, cutting me out completely. Hours of him saying things about me that still make my chest hurt when I hear them. I kept thinking, this is my dad, the same man who taught me to ride a bike. The betrayal cut deeper every day, but I stayed quiet. I had to, for my babies. Then one afternoon, Ruth called me from her car and said, "Lisa, you need to sit down. There's more, a lot more." My heart stopped. What she told me next made my blood run cold. I sat on the edge of the bed and whispered, "Tell me." Ruth took a deep breath and started talking. Turns out, Dad wasn't just planning a new life with some woman. He had already changed the will, twice. He was moving huge chunks of money that Mom left for me into secret accounts. And the worst part? He was talking to lawyers about having me declared unstable because of the miscarriage. He told them the stress made me unreliable, that I couldn't raise a child alone. He wanted full control of everything, the house, the company, every penny, so his new baby boy could get it all. His girlfriend was already 4 months along, and he was already picking out nursery furniture and calling the baby Little Robert Jr., the same name as him. I just sat there crying so quietly the phone almost slipped from my hand. This was the man who used to carry me on his shoulders at the fair. The same dad who cried when Mom died and held me for hours. How could he look at my twins, his own blood, and plan to erase us like we never existed? The betrayal felt like someone reached inside my chest and squeezed. I hung up with Ruth, put both hands on my belly, and whispered to the babies, "I'm so sorry, little ones, but Mommy's not letting him win." After that call, the recordings got even heavier. I caught him on the phone one night laughing with his girlfriend, saying, "Once Lisa's out of the picture for good, we'll finally have the family we deserve." I almost threw up right there in the hallway. Another time, he almost caught me. He came home early and I had to shove the necklace camera under my pillow and pretend I was napping. My hands were shaking so bad I thought he'd notice. But I kept going. 6 months of smiling at breakfast. 6 months of pretending my heart wasn't breaking every single day. The twins started kicking strong, and every little flutter gave me courage. I'd lie in bed at night talking to them about their grandma, telling them stories so they'd know love, even if their grandpa never gave it. By the end of those 6 months, I had hours and hours of proof. Ruth had bank statements, lawyer emails, even photos of Dad and his girlfriend picking out baby clothes. I had everything, and I knew exactly when I was going to use it. The night of his big family dinner, the one he called a fresh start celebration, I finally decided. He invited aunts, uncles, his new girlfriend, everyone. He was toasting to new beginnings, and I was sitting there with my secret recordings on a USB drive in my pocket and the ultrasound picture of the twins folded in my hand.
The house was bright and loud. Aunts, uncles, cousins, his new girlfriend, all there smiling like nothing was wrong. Dad stood at the head of the table in his nice suit, raising a champagne glass. He looked so proud of himself. "To new beginnings," he said, "and the future of this family." Everyone clapped. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my ears. I was 7 months pregnant by then, but I'd been wearing loose clothes, so he still thought I'd lost the baby. I waited 1 second, then I slowly stood up. "Actually, Dad, before you toast, I have something I want to share too." The room got dead quiet. I plugged my phone into the big TV they had set up for family photos. My fingers were shaking so bad I almost dropped it. I hit play. His own voice filled the room, loud and angry. "Get rid of it!" Then the horrible sound of me falling down those stairs, my cry, and him just walking out the door like it was nothing. I played clip after clip. Him laughing on the phone about cutting me out of the will. Him telling his girlfriend how happy he was that the problem was gone. Every cruel word he ever said about me and my babies played right there in front of everyone. His new girlfriend's face went white. My aunts started crying. One uncle stood up so fast his chair fell over. When the last recording ended, I pulled out the ultrasound picture and held it up high. "These are your grandchildren, Dad. Twins. They survived that fall. I survived. And I have every single word you said saved." I was crying by then, but my voice stayed strong. "You tried to throw us away, but we're still here." He tried to laugh it off at first, saying it was all fake, but his voice cracked. That's when the police walked in. Ruth had already sent them everything. They arrested him right there in his own dining room, handcuffs clicking while he was still holding his champagne glass. I'll never forget the way he looked at me as they led him out. Pure shock, like he finally realized his little girl wasn't scared anymore. The next few months were a blur of court dates and tears, but because of all the recordings and proof, I won everything. The house, the company, the entire inheritance, it all came to me.
I kept our old home but sold most of the business. Then I took his share, over $2 million, and donated every single penny to women's shelters here in Oregon, places that help moms and babies who have nowhere else to go. It felt like the right way to turn all that pain into something good. And that's my story. Get rid of it. But I didn't get rid of anything. I fought for my babies, and we won. If you stayed with me through all 4 parts, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This story taught me that even when the person who's supposed to protect you hurts you the most, you can still rise. You're stronger than you know. So here we are, 3 years later. My twins, Sophia and Emma, are 2.5 now. They're running around this little house I bought closer to the coast, the one with the big backyard where they chase bubbles and laugh so loud it echoes. Sophia's the brave one. She climbs everything. Emma's quieter, loves books already, just like her mom used to at the bookstore. Every single day I look at them and think, we made it. They don't know the full story yet. Maybe one day when they're older, I'll tell them how strong their mommy had to be. For now, they just know love, lots of it. I kept the old family house for a while, but eventually I sold it. Too many ghosts in those stairs. The money from the company, after everything was settled, went to start a small foundation in Mom's name. It helps single moms get back on their feet. Housing, childcare, legal help if someone's trying to take everything from them. Every time a check goes out, I feel like I'm giving back a little piece of what Dad tried to steal. It doesn't erase the hurt, but it makes it mean something. Jake and we're still together. He stood by me through every court date, every nightmare flashback. We got married quietly last summer on the beach at sunset. Just us, the girls, and a few close friends. No big fancy thing, just real love. The kind that doesn't push you downstairs. Looking back, the scariest part wasn't the fall. It was realizing the person who was supposed to protect me could hurt me the most. But the most beautiful part, finding out I could protect myself and my babies. I'm not saying it was easy. Some nights I still wake up crying, hearing his voice in my head. But those nights are fewer now. The girls' giggles chase the shadows away. If you're watching this and you're in a hard place right now, if someone's making you feel small or unsafe or like you don't deserve to be here, please hear me. You are enough. You are strong enough. And there are people, resources, shelters, hotlines. You don't have to do it alone. Reach out. I promise the other side is brighter than you can imagine right now. One quick thing before I go. Everything you've heard in this series is based on real events from my life, but for privacy and legal reasons, some details like exact names of places and people have been changed or generalized. This is my truth, told as honestly as I could, but it's shared as a personal story, not legal documentation. Thank you, YouTube, for giving me this space to tell it. Thank you to the whole YouTube team, the people behind the scenes who make sure stories like mine can reach the people who need them. You changed my life by letting me change a few others. If this series touched you, please subscribe if you haven't already, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and drop a heart in the comments just so I know you're here with me. I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other.